Hello, and welcome to the Hypno Fairy Godmother Show. I'm Shirley Gantz, clinical hypnotherapist with a private practice here in Southern California, advocate and mental health first responder here at Whispering Zen Hypnotherapy and Wellness. Thank you for coming to the show today, where you can come as you are, but hopefully leave as you want to be. Do you wish that you could more freely enjoy a new healthy habit, or just get back to feeling more like yourself? Then let's talk. Definitely. And although my specialty is with the LGBTQIA community, I welcome and work with everyone. So if you need help, I'm here for you. So you can book online anytime at whisperingzenhypnotherapy.com. So thank you again for coming to the Hypno Fairy Godmother Show, where you can now be seen and heard on multiple social media sites. So if you need to find out where you can find me, if depending on where you are finding me, just go to whisperingzenhypnotherapy.com and you'll be able to find all the information there. Before we get going today, I want everybody that's in a safe place. Now, I always say in a safe place because you never know. So, no driving, no working on a project that needs to be worked on, no doing something really important, just nice, safe place. If you're not in a nice, safe place, then maybe you want to pick up this later and listen to it later, or just don't do the parts where this first part where you may have the idea of closing your eyes, because you should never close your eyes when you're driving, obviously. So I want you to be really careful about that. So, what I want you to do, if you are in that safe place, is take a nice deep breath, hold it, and exhale with a smile, because we all need to smile. It's Monday, we can do this. And this next part, which is my favorite part of starting the show, is that what I want you to do is I want you to wiggle your toes. Come on, it's middle of the afternoon. Sometimes it's later in the afternoon, depending on where you're listening from. So wiggle your toes. In your shoes, out of your shoes, I don't care. I'm rarely in shoes, so that's how I roll. So wiggle your toes. Now I want you to wiggle your buns. That's right, wiggle your butt. Squeeze them together, wiggle your buns. Because you can't do this without smiling. I can't tell you to wiggle your butt without smiling. That's just the way I roll. So you got to wiggle your buns. Now I want you to take another deep breath. And this time when you exhale with a small affirmation. My favorite is, I got this. You're going to be okay. We can make it. Just some little affirmation that can get you through the rest of the day, or maybe the rest of the week if it's a really good one. How about the next hour? Sometimes little goals are the best. So just however long you need to. Now, if you've got a little extra time, you might want to roll your ankles just a little bit. And by that, I just mean move them around. Please do not actually roll your ankle. Just move them around. Maybe your core, shoulders, maybe even roll your neck just a little bit. You can roll your neck just a little. And think about it, in just this short amount of time, you have actually loosened up everything from your toes to your nose and above. You've relaxed a little bit. Your shoulders have moved down. And that's what this is all about. It's all about just getting to feel a little bit better, just relaxing a little bit during the day. It's great. Any little thing that you can do to help with your mental health is just absolutely perfect. So for today's show, I'd like to also thank AnnieShirley.com, who are excited to announce that the newest Hubble Bubble Tiny Toes books are now published and ready to purchase. Both What's a Chakra and Hubble Bubble Zodiac for Kids are now available for purchase on AnnieShirley.com. So if you'd also like to become a sponsor or just help keep the thing going, this little show going, you can either contact me directly at Whispering Zen hypnosis.com, or go to my Patreon page because I do have one. And even if you just want to temporarily help out, that's wonderful. So go onto the Patreon page, and it's at Hypno Fairy Godmother Radio. And those of you that do help sponsor, you don't know how much I love and appreciate you every time. So know that you do mean a lot to me. As we've talked about before, and as I am a hypnotherapist, I get asked a lot about mental health, things to do, ways to maintain it. And today I want to talk about, continue on with the mental health inspiration, but getting ready for the holidays and how to keep going, because this is a really rough time of year for some people. So just little things you can do, and maybe find an opportunity to smile, because you're not a diagnosis. You're a person. And sometimes we tend to forget that. So we definitely don't want to forget that. Today we're going to discuss a little part of what I like to call my Weeble Kung Fu. And Weeble Kung Fu is, even if things get hard and you start to waver just a little bit and wobble just a little bit, that's okay, but we stay standing. So it's kind of like that whole, wiggle and wobble, but you don't fall, you stay up, and you're still moving a little bit forward. And it's also about becoming that person that you wish you would have had growing up. You're helping to improve yourself. And so the more you improve yourself, the more you're there if somebody calls on you, or if somebody asks you to help them out. You can be that person to inspire somebody else, but you can also be that person, because you're always trying to help inspire yourself and just becoming a more authentic you. It's wonderful when you can become more authentic to yourself. And since we're going into the holidays, happy November, because we have made it to November. This year has just gone so fast, and I'm not ready for November, because now we're getting into holidays that are a little harder to deal with. So, we're going to work on trying to find that little more of a happy place. And the first thing I'm going to always tell you is to keep up with your breath work. Be intentional, be focused. Think of it as a great way to start your day, with a few deep breaths to calm yourself. We're going to go over, the 3-minute breathing exercises later on. These are just little things to maintain, and know that if things get a little more stressful, then that's okay. We do the 3 deep breaths in the morning. Think of your mantras for the day, your little aspirations. And if you have Inspire Me dice, now's a good time to use them, especially in the morning when you're trying to figure out your mantras for the day. If you don't, just tell yourself something wonderful about you. We all know, we're really easy with finding the downfalls of what we do, but trying to find the more inspirational things about ourselves, just little stuff, and if you can't think of anything, I want you to know that you are incredible, you are completely awesome, and you are definitely loved. And not just by me, but know that if that's what you need, I'm here for you. I'm always here for those in need. And I'm always here in case you just need that little bump. My clients, when they call or when we have sessions together, sometimes you just need to know that you're not alone. You need to know that, somebody's listening. And that's when I tell people that, sometimes people come to me for hypnosis to get rid of a problem, but sometimes they just come for, kind of a before something's bad, before falls apart. Sometimes you just need encouragement. Sometimes you just need a little maintenance. Hypno maintenance is not a bad thing. Sometimes you just, need to talk it out. So don't think of hypnosis or taking care of your mental health as something that you need to wait until the last minute, because you don't. What you actually need to do is take care of yourself ahead of time. And for most people, we need to stay busy. But keeping yourself busy is not being rushed or panicked. And this time of the year, it is just really easy to push yourself too far and stretch yourself and overbook yourself and get behind in things. And, we are still dealing with this crazy pandemic, and we know that we have shipping delays happening. I live near a port. Believe me, we got ships going all the way back, and the slow mail system makes it so easy to overextend yourself or to just stress yourself out. And it's not worth your mental well-being. It is absolutely not. I should know. I did it last year. I freaked myself out. I extended myself too far. Won't happen again. Lesson learned. And sometimes you need to, hopefully not as bad as I did, but sometimes you just need to know that, it's nothing is worse damaging your mental health. Nothing's worse damaging your mental well-being. It's a time of the year. Think of it as a normal time of the year. Think of it as, it's just what it is. It's not better than any time, but we do tend to look at November and December, the end of October, but especially November and December, as a time to just panic and make obligations that we don't want to make. And if you don't want to make that obligation, bow out. Definitely bow out. Like I said, it is not worth your mental well-being to have to stress out about that. And, although we are still dealing with all this other stuff going on, and then some places are more pandemic and some places are less, some places have more restrictions and some have less, so you need to work on that accordingly. But even if you're in an area that has stronger restrictions, I live in a place that has a little bit stronger restrictions. So, it's important that that you're not in seclusion. You're absolutely not in seclusion. You can go out. You have to sometimes be a little more cautious and take care of people around you as much as yourself. But stay connected. Stay connected with your friends. And if you've got a great family, stay connected with them. But make sure that they're true friends. And what I mean by that is that there's as much giving as receiving. If you're giving and giving and giving, that's what's going to stress you out. And that's what stressed me out. And, it seemed that what I was doing was more giving and less receiving. And it'll do damage. So please don't do that. And sometimes I understand that just connecting on social media isn't enough. A lot of us have groups that we belong to on social media that are almost a second family. But sometimes just reading things, not quite enough to keep you going. So if you can video call, it'll do wonders to actually hear that voice or see that face. And it brings the connection even closer. I got a video call a couple weeks ago, made my whole week, because I hadn't seen this person face to face in a long time. And just getting to see the person and just getting to see the smile and just knowing that we got to connect on a non-text manner was just an incredible thing. So trust me. And if you have kids, and I'm guessing that, some kids still aren't back to school yet. And, you may feel a little leery about them going to visit their friends, or some of them haven't seen family in quite a while. do the video call for them too, because they're gonna, it's one more thing. It's a connection, and video calling is a great connection. Um, I'm sure that they're gonna love it as much as you do, as much as the person that you've called. So it's a two-way thing. And you may think you're doing it for you, but or you're video calling for that other person, but you're also doing it for yourself. You're making that two-way connection, which, like I said, great for your mental health. Because it's important to get yourself into a positive mindset. If you feel yourself starting to doom scroll, and we've talked about doom scrolling, and what that means is that it's really easy to just look for the bad things, because that's what's on most of our feeds right now, is controversy and bad things, and you tend to get overwhelmed by all the bad without seeing all the good. So if you find yourself doom scrolling or just listening to the news, you need to stop. You need to take a break. Totally stop and take a break. Do what we call kind of a spin and flip, or a flip and spin. Get offline. You can get offline. Hopefully, not for the next, little while you're listening to the show, but after the show, then you can get offline. Just saying. But, get offline. Take a walk if you can. Even just a little one. Remember, we're back to getting that fresh air, and if it's not appropriate for you to go outside, weather pending, or if you're ill or whatever, totally understand. But maybe watch funny videos on YouTube or funny videos on TikTok, just something to break it up and make you laugh and smile. We like to end the day here with, watching funny YouTube videos. And we do that because no matter what's happened during the day, you get to end the day thinking, laughing and smiling, and going to sleep with a smile on your face is so much better for your healing, your overall healing, than being consumed by, the bad stuff, which you never want to be consumed by the bad stuff. And believe it or not, you may actually, while you're watching these videos and stuff, you may actually find a new interest that you didn't even know existed. Something that you just look at and you go, I have to try this. Now, don't be crazy and do one of those weird challenges. There's no need to get hurt while you're trying to make yourself laugh. But, I've seen it happen. I've seen where people have discovered new interests and they're like, I've got to try this. As long as you're safe, what can it hurt? Think about all the things that we've been through in this year and last year. And remember, you're a survivor. You've got this. We have made it this far. Everything that has happened in the last couple years. And although some of us have struggled through it, believe me, I have struggled through it in certain cases. You've conquered it. You've got it. Some people have lost jobs, friends, family. These things are never easy to deal with. But believe me, you've got this. And don't ignore your feelings, though. Don't try to go, yeah, this has happened, so now I'm going to totally ignore it. Please don't totally ignore it. Grief, bereavement, things like that, it's a process. And it's going to take as long as it takes. This is not something to be rushed. Even something like losing a job, you've got to deal with, the grief of, and sometimes it is bereavement of the loss. For some people, their job is their identity. And if you're no longer doing that, then what does that say? Or what does that mean? So take as long as you need. Grief, bereavement, any type of loss. Like I said, doesn't have to be a person. It can be a thing. Take what you need. I know some of us can't take forever because, especially if it's a job situation that you need to keep working, but, you know, keep going. You can do this. I have every hope in the world that you can keep going. I feel so positive about this. Um, and some people have already started. If this is something that you need to do, if you're going to start shopping early, which due to some of the shipping problems, you may want to, or some people don't shop at all, which is even better. But if you're going to start shopping, and I know people that have already got their holiday shopping done, which to me is just crazy town. I tend to be a massive procrastinator, so not always the best. But if you are going to start shopping, either for someone else or you're totally into retail therapy, I get that completely. Try to support local. There are small businesses that are struggling to keep going. Some have been closed down and reopened, some are barely making it. If you don't feel comfortable going into stores yet, which I know a lot of people aren't, you can always call. If they've got an online, you can do it completely online. Some of them you can call and pick things up. They'll actually, bring it out to you. I've, there are a couple stores that I've actually done that. Ordered online, stopped, called them, they bring it out to the car. I don't have to go in. So if you're still feeling a little leery about going out to places, then it's great. And if you're already shopping, which I know is just completely crazy, why not get something for a friend or family member? Do you realize that you don't have to have a holiday to actually be kind and maybe send something? It doesn't have to be huge, you know but these days good old snail mail works for people. This year I'm going to be sending out postcards again. I did it last year. It's not overly expensive, made them myself, and it's really easy if you want to do postcards just to say hi to people. It doesn't even have to be a holiday thing. You can just do a generic postcard going thinking of you. Have a good season. You don't even have to say which season, just have a good season. Postcard stamps are cheaper than regular, and people love getting something in the mail that's not a bill. So just your little postcard can make everybody's day. And if this time of year, if for some reason you do have a little extra time, some do, some don't. It all has to do with moderation. But if you do, take advantage of it. All of this goes back to nourishing your soul. Take time to be with yourself in a meaningful way. Do something that you've wanted to do. Try that new thing that you've been wanting to try. If you need to go outside of yourself, donate to a cause that you believe in, even if it just means your time. Some places you can donate money and you can do it in your name. You can do it into a friend's name. I know people that do that for the holidays. They donate to different causes and they do it in somebody's name. Also, not that expensive depending on how extravagant you want to go, because most of these smaller local charities, and I always believe in supporting local, which has to do with small businesses, small charities. They always need help, especially this time of year, because they are hit a little bit harder during the winter and during the holidays. So they're always needing a little extra help. This is your way of helping the community. If you can volunteer your time, even better. But I know that some of you just aren't ready to go out yet, and that's okay. This time of year is also great for random acts of kindness. Visit a neighbor, local healthcare workers. Just something to say hi, to see how they're doing. If you feel really generous, you can donate, have coffee or cookies delivered, or you can deliver them yourself. That's even better. It's totally going to make their day. You're going to get to see the smile on their faces, and then you're going to get to see the smile on yours. Once again, works both ways, and if you don't go out, or you can't go out, or for whatever reason, you can do this all online too. Just look around a little bit. And if you're going to be doing postcards or little cards, think about your neighbors. If you have older neighbors or neighbors that are alone, just leave them a little card saying hi, thinking of you, hoping you're doing okay. We all need someone. We all need to know that someone's thinking about us and someone's paying attention, which is perfect because you never know. Sometimes you think nobody even cares, and then you realize that you have neighbors that are paying attention. We have a couple special neighbors that if we don't see them for a while, we kind of check in on them. We have a lot of older neighbors, but even if you don't have older neighbors, even if you know somebody that's living alone, maybe they're going through a little bit harder time, because for some, this whole pandemic thing has hit them really hard because they're used to being outgoing and getting out there and doing things. And this has closed them down, and they're getting a little edgy, going, what's going on? Other people are like, it's too peoply outside. I'm great. I don't even care. So it's always important to take, personal mental inventory a couple times a day. Make sure that you're doing okay. Remember, because you're the most important thing about all of this. And if you have kids, make sure that they're okay. And the best way to do that is to just ask them, how are you doing today? And listen to what they say. Have the good day at school, bad day at school, fighting with their friends, made a new friend. Always ask your kids. Maybe do a 3 o'clock reset. Except for days that the show is on, and then, maybe do it 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock, or they can do a reset during the show. That's all right. Always follow your own schedule, but have everybody stop what they're doing and take a few minutes to just check in. How was your day today? Is there something you need to talk about? Are you having a good day or a bad day? Maybe have a little snack. Maybe do a crazy dance around the house. Color a bright picture. I love coloring. Just do something to reset yourself into happy. Then you can go back to what you were doing. But sometimes the whole family, or sometimes if it's just you, you need to do kind of a mental in the middle of the day, flip and switch, remember? Spin and flip and switch, flip it, slap it down, whatever you need to do, and do that mental reset. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to your family. And whether it's your family that you were born with, maybe it's your family that you made up. Some of us have families that, we're far away from, or we just don't connect with. And we've made families of our own. I know lots of people that have made families of their own. Make sure that they're happy. And that's part of being kind to yourself. And it's really important this time of year where, every aspect of your life has been impacted in one way or another. And sometimes you feel like there's no control about what's going on next. And although we sometimes don't have control about what's happening on the outside world, you have control of you. What you do, who you see, if you go out or not, you always have that connection. And being, that Thanksgiving's at the end of the month, as much as it sucks, again, this year we do have some responsibilities. Now, not as much as last year, which is great. With the majority of people being vaccinated. Sometimes you still have to be a little more cautious. I have some place that I normally go. Part of them are vaccinated, part of them are not. Probably won't be going if the non-vaccinated people will be there. And that's just because of our the way we feel. But we have friends, that are, and that they're having other events and other get-togethers. So, if you still feel like you need to be safe, then, you know, if you're, immunocompromised, if, you're not feeling well, then, take advantage. Go back to the video calls. Take advantage of those video calls. You can have breakfast or dinner or a brunch together, and you're still live. You're still talking and seeing to that person. You're still catching up. It's just you're online and not there. Sometimes it makes it easier because you're at home, and so you don't have to leave where you're at and go back and forth. Avoid driving. Sometimes, this time of year, the weather, depending on where you live, sometimes the weather's not as great, so you need to be careful. So sometimes being home, if you have bad weather, definitely click into that video call. Only you know what you need to do. Nobody can tell you what you need to do to take care of yourself. And don't let anybody guilt you into doing something that you don't want to do. Don't feel guilted into going to an event maybe that you don't want to go to. Use that self-determination in whatever you do. Stand your ground. This is about you. Stand your ground. Take control of your mental health and your mental well-being. Take control of your physical health. Your physical health and your mental health work together. Doesn't do you any good to be physically healthy if mentally you're a disaster, or the opposite. They have to work together, and it has to be up to you. So, like I said, don't feel guilty, or don't feel guilted in. And just by chance, if you're planning on starting a New Year's resolution, I know it's only November, but we need to discuss this. If you're going to do what you consider a New Year's resolution, which I have to tell you, 85 to 90% of them fail because you're putting too much pressure on yourself, start now. Yeah, you know what? You can start a New Year's resolution on November 1st. It doesn't have to be like New Year's on the calendar. It can be anytime. You can say, as of November 1st, I'm starting this. And don't worry about holidays coming into it. Don't worry about any of that, because it's not about any of that. It's not about how it's going to affect anyone else. It's about how it affects you. And it's never too early to start taking care of yourself. It's never. And your mental well-being is the best place to start. So whether you want to start journaling, or you want to start meditating more, if you want to start just taking control of your life, then now's as good a time to start as any. It really is. Don't feel like you have to wait until there's a specific date on the calendar to do a New Year's resolution. I actually started something, a couple weeks ago. Whether it works or not, I don't know, but I'm sticking to it. And I decided I didn't want to wait until January 1st. I wanted to do what was best for me, so I did. Today's big lesson is, how do you plan to stay sane and healthy until you get into 2022, which is crazy thinking about 2022. This year just went nuts, and it went fast. But that we're just going to take things one day at a time. The most important thing, like I said, and I'm going to keep saying, is take care of your mental health. And if you need help with that, if you need to talk to somebody with that, that's when, you can always call me, make an appointment. I do have my business, and I do take clients all the time. And, sometimes if you're going to start something brand new, get back into a healthy habit. Sometimes we just need to start feeling like ourselves, our old selves. Sometimes you miss that. So you want to make sure that you're starting to feel more like you. Now's the best time to start as any. Make an appointment or don't make an appointment with me. I hope that you do if you're going to do one. But it's about, once again, taking care of you. We have no control about what's going to happen on the outside world, but you do have control to take care of yourself. And I've said that a couple times today, and I'm going to keep saying it because I want you to believe me. You know, and I'm actually thinking about restarting my free group guided meditation or guided journey group until the end of the year and maybe beyond that. So you'll be able to get a little more information on my Facebook and Instagram when I get all of that going. Because we all deserve a little us time. Got to have a little you time to just chill out. So let me know if you're interested in something like that. Because if enough people are actually interested, then I would love to start this up. We'll pick some evening during the week, and just for 45 minutes to an hour, just calming, soothing music. And we can do it as a private group. We can do it as an open group. But just let me know, honestly, how you feel about that. Because I put these things out, like I said, sometimes we just need to make it through the day or the hour. Sometimes we can make it through the whole week to keep you mentally stronger. Using your breathing exercises, focus internally. Take care of you first, focus in internally. And always check in with yourself. If you're starting to slide, the last thing we want is for you to start to slide. So if you don't have a doctor that can help you out, or, there's a lot of online services. There are a lot of free online services. Don't give up looking for one. Just, stick into your search engine, looking for online free mental health services. Like I said, I'm always here. This is what I do. Hypno Fairy Godmother. I'm there just to talk to you, just to coach you through it and get you through the day. Get you through this time. When we start the holidays, people tend to go a little buggy. So, part of the Weeble Kung Fu, which again, wobbling but not falling, is there's just ways to make you feel mentally stronger. Give you a couple more things to add to your toolbox, which is great. And while you're doing your affirmations, the worst possible thing that can happen is that you spend several weeks telling yourself positive, encouraging things every day. Doesn't sound that bad, when you do your affirmations in the morning. Put them on a Post-it note or several Post-it notes. Put them on your bathroom mirror. Put them on the refrigerator. Or stick one in your car if you're going out. Make a little Post-it note. Put it on your desk so that every once in a while you can look up and go, oh, got it. And that's kind of a mental reset too. Your mental health is going to be a matter of ups and downs. But, you've got that incredible courage. And you've got a way to make it. And sometimes even if you do an epic fail, we can handle anything because I believe in you. You have it in you to handle anything that might come up. It's so important for everybody. And if you're another mental health worker or a healthcare worker or a first responder and you're dealing with these things, that's a perfect time, if you know somebody like that, to give them a call. Let them know that you're thinking about them. The stress that they're dealing right now is just incredible, and it hasn't let up. For some of us, we made it through the hard part, but it hasn't been, we've been able to kind of move a little bit forward. For some healthcare workers and first responders, they're still in the thick of it. So they need to know that, they're dealing with bereavement. They're dealing with survivor guilt sometimes. Just a simple hi. I know lots of nurses and healthcare workers that I check in with, and I make sure that they're okay, and I'll send them a funny meme or just, ask how they're doing. And that's something that we need to do. Um, but if you do feel yourself starting to slide, and if you feel that you need that extra help with mental health disorders, or somebody that you love is dealing with that, or substance abuse that has to do with mental health disorders, because sometimes the two tend to flow together. Because if you don't have that strong connection and that strong family, whether it's, immediate family or a family that you made, you can start medicating, self medicating, which is never good. Um, consider contacting a treatment professional. Now, there's certain things that I can do and certain things that legally I can't do. But if you need some help, you can always call, and I'll let you know if I can't help you, I will find somebody that can. Um, so always know that you're worthy of life. The gift of life is there for you. But if you do need that extra help, please, don't put it off. And you need somebody to talk to immediately. They're there 24/7. They're the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, and they're at 1-800-273-8255. That's 1-800-273-8255. And, you know, they're there 24/7. If you don't feel comfortable with them, there's the Trevor Lifeline. There's so many different ones. And if you need help finding one, email me, text me, whatever it takes, and I will help you find help. I will never desert you. I will always help you get the help that you need. Um, so we're getting towards the end of the show, but what I want to do is I want to go over that end of the day self compassion pause, because we need that self compassion. And I always give you the self compassion pause. I went over it last week, going to continue to go over it again and again, because it's just as important for you as it is if you have kids. Um, because, they need to love themselves, and you need to love yourself and know how special you are and how wonderful they are. They need to know how wonderful they are. And it's a great way to, you can do this at the beginning of your day. You can do this at the end of your day. You can do it at both. I tend to actually do this at both the beginning and the end of my day. But start by taking a minute to just pause. Pause with your thoughts, pause your actions, and just focus your awareness that being mindful can help. And being mindful is just getting yourself back to the middle. It's not worrying about what happened before. It's not worrying about what you have to do next. It's about just being there, being in the moment. And then I want you to put your hands on your chest, at least one, maybe two, and just give yourself that hug. Just that hug to let you know that you're worth it. To make some physical contact with yourself. And where sometimes people like having other people do the physical contact, if you don't have someone, giving yourself a hug to let you know that you're real and you're there sometimes can ground you. And after that, the important part of this is to acknowledge that maybe you're not having a good day. Maybe, today hasn't been the best day, but acknowledge that it's real. And, sometimes things are a little hurtful, but give yourself permission to feel it. Give yourself permission. Always give yourself permission, because we're allowed to have good days and we're allowed to have bad days. And after you've done this little self compassion pause, know that, once you acknowledge that you have these feelings, then you can, start to work your way past them. The best thing I like to do is our 3-minute breathing space. And this is something that you can do anytime during the day. Beginning, ending, in the middle, even if you're at work, it takes 3 minutes. Do it on a break. You can do it on a bathroom break if you need to. It's 3 minutes. And unlike doing full meditations or full body scans, which are important to do, this exercise is just really quick and it's useful. And sometimes it's just a way to get your head clear. So with the 3-minute breathing space, can be like a perfect technique for those that are really busy and their minds are busy and everything else. So it's broken down into 3 sections, 3-minute breathing exercises, and you just do them at 1 minute at a time. And it's great to do. This is another thing that I do in the morning, just to let myself know that, today's started and I've given myself compassion. Now it's time I give myself a little breathing room, because sometimes you need that. So for this first minute, what we're going to do is just ask yourself straight out, how am I doing right now? How am I doing right now? Not how was I doing 10 minutes ago, but how am I doing right now? Focusing on your feelings, your thoughts, sensations that might arise, trying to give these things words and phrases. I'm feeling content, and that's just giving me kind of a mellow yellow feeling. If you're feeling anxious, what color is that? Where is it in your body? A lot of times when we're feeling anxious, it's in your chest, and it may be a little more red. May even be a little darker blue or darker black, but that's okay. You're acknowledging that that's what's happening. For the second minute, spend it on being aware of your breath. Just your slow breathing, getting yourself through it, slow down your breathing, and being aware that when you concentrate on your breathing, what's going to happen is your heart's going to slow down, your shoulders may relax. And once all that happens, that's great, because that means your blood pressure is going to relax. And sometimes that's the best thing that can happen. And the last minute is used to just expand that attention outward from your breath. You've been concentrating on your breath. Now let's expand, feeling the way in which your breath affects the rest of your body. So when you were doing that breathing, did you notice that your heart was slowing down? Did you notice that you were relaxing a little bit more? Did you notice that maybe you felt, your blood pressure slow down? I know that keeping a quiet mind can be really challenging, and thoughts are going to pop up, but the idea isn't to block those thoughts. It's to, let them come into your mind, let them disappear again. Just try to observe that your feelings are there, good or bad. Whatever happens, it happens. And, some people aren't good at just being able to block out their mind. So don't worry about it. And the intention isn't to repress your feelings. It's to let those feelings go and experience them. But make sure that if it's a bad feeling or, that negative feeling, make sure that you do just let that go. Make sure that all the negative feelings go. Concentrate on the positive feelings. I know I sound a little happy clappy right now, but just concentrate on those. You've observed your feelings. You went, oh, not having a great morning. Or maybe today was really stressful, but I'm just going to let that part go. It's 3 minutes out of your day. Like I said, you can do this on a bathroom break. You can do this on a regular break. It doesn't have to be just once in the morning and once at night or one time a day. You can do this several times out of the day. just to refocus. Like I said, ask yourself how you're doing. Check in with yourself. It's all right. You know, the idea is to, you know, learn to smile when maybe smiling's not that easy right now. But I have, I know that you can do it. I believe in you. So I put these things forward to help you kind of see if you can make it through the day, because some days are harder than others, and get you a little more mentally stronger, because we're just going to keep building on that. Use your breathing exercises to help yourself calm down. And ask yourself, always ask for help if you feel like you're starting to slide. Like I said before, I'll always be there to help you if you need that help. You can always make an appointment with me. You can always text me. I'm not going to desert you. I'm not going to just blow it off like it's no big deal. If you ask me for help, I will find you the help. If I can't personally do it legally, then I will find somebody that can. Don't ever, ever stop looking for help. If you need it and a friend can't help you, sometimes you need to just take it and run with it and go with it. I encourage you to take breaks if you're allowed to take breaks. Think of them as mental health breaks. Go outside, leave your house, walk around if you get a break at work, whenever you get a break. Get yourself outside of the environment. That's totally going to help you. These are the things that you need to do for yourself. So remember that I repost everything, all my shows on the YouTube page and the Facebook page, and you can always rewatch or listen to the podcasts. I always put those up for you. I have all my shows, on those different things for you to look up in case you missed something that you felt was important, or in case you weren't in a safe place and you wanted to re-listen. Always take note of your mental state at all times, because, you need to be mindful of how you're feeling and the things that are around you. Always, always. So I want to thank you for listening today. It's been truly my pleasure to even be a small little part of your journey. And I hope that it's been calming, maybe a little soothing for you. You've learned something new. And mostly I hope that wherever you are, you're leaving more of who you really wanted to be. I'm Shirley Ince, clinical hypnotherapist, activist, and mental health first responder here at Whispering Zen Hypnotherapy and Wellness. I work together with my clients, maybe you, if you decide to call or text me, and maybe we can work as a team to find the best way to get you back to feeling more like you, without fear, without worrying, without any type of pain. I work with pain with mental illness. I work online, so wherever you are, that's where I'll be able to help you out, because when you're online, it doesn't matter. And I understand that hypnosis isn't for everybody. It's okay. So let's see if maybe we can work together. Again, Shirley Ann's a clinical hypnotherapist. And if you want to book a consultation, or you want to text me or get a hold of me, you can always go to whisperingzenhypnotherapy.com. It has been my sincere and real pleasure to help you out today. So remember, one last time, I want everybody to take a nice deep breath. Hold it in. And exhale with a smile. Yes. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Remember to tell your friends about the show. I will definitely see you next week at this same time. So have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. And I will see you next I almost messed that up. Next Monday at 3 o'clock Pacific. Have a wonderful, blessed day.